first met Sandy when she was 7. Sandy had always said, I'm going to be a teacher. Well, then she got into high school. She said, I'm going to be a nurse. And she took health occupations. She came to work at the hospital as a CNA.
Right away, I recognized Sandy had something special. So I just pulled her into different situations every chance I got, and I just watched her grow.
They would call me and they would let me listen or do or participate or watch. It made me aware of so much and how the body works. It just cultivated a desire in me to learn more.
When I met Sandy, I had just graduated nursing school, and she was just so self-assured.
In 1991, I started as a med-surg nurse. They quickly allowed me to become a charge nurse on med-surg. Then Dolores Chamey had me start working in the emergency department. I became the department director of the emergency department when I was 24 years old. Then became an admit nurse. I went back to med-surg as a charge nurse and also became a house supervisor. Then I went into the OR. Then I became the med-surg director, and I became a labor and delivery nurse and nursery nurse and took care of mom babies. While I was working up there, that's when my husband passed away.
She lost her husband. He hadn't been sick. It was a sudden event. It happened at home. And she and one of my other colleagues got a phone call, and I will never forget it as long as I live. It was I don't even know what she said. All I know was I had to get there.
She lost Alan in 2008. When it came time for her to go back to work, she said, I just can't do it anymore. I just can't do it.
You know, you go through the process of grieving and went through the funeral and all of that. And Sandy, at that moment, was trying to quit on everything. She wouldn't take my phone calls. She wouldn't respond. So I had to get a little more aggressive and find her, you know, and go to her. And eventually, she started coming around. Everything was a no. Although I knew she would be great at it, I had to find something, because if I didn't find something, there was going to be nothing.
I lost confidence in myself, confidence in my ability to perform my nursing job, because with him I had to do CPR, and although he made it to the hospital and everything, he did pass away.
I continued to push, and she continued to push back. And then, you know, she did cardiac rehab as a trial. I'll try it. I'll just try it. I'm only going to do this for you. I said, you're not doing this for me, you're doing this for you. There were requirements of the position that she didn't feel like she was going to be able to accomplish. One of it being CPR or ACLS. She said, I'll never be able to do it. And I said, you will. You will.
I didn't really want to live. You know, I would wake up each day and I was just so upset that I was still here. Then I started working with these cardiac rehab patients, and most of them really wanted to live, and they fought so hard. And it changed something in me, because I realized that there was so many things worth living for. You know, they say that I saved them, but really they saved me. Donna Cochran convinced me to come back to work and told me that I could do cardiac rehab and I could make it my own. She said, make it as big or as little as you want it. And that's where I've been ever since.
And she started the cardiac rehab program there, and that's really her passion.
I've really benefited from her commitment to it.
Cardiac rehab is an exercise program for people who've had any type of cardiac event. The women's heart component came in when she had a patient.
Alicia Roberts came into the cardiac rehab department. She was 26 years old when she was first diagnosed with heart disease. She was worried she was gonna die. She wanted to do everything that she could do to live. Then she started volunteering at the hospital in cardiac rehab. When she would come, I mean, the patients would just light up.
Through Alicia and then a couple others, Women's Heart was identified. Alicia was part of it, And there was a Savannah chapter, and they founded the Hinesville chapter to address the women that had had babies, still in childbearing years, that had any type of problems during their pregnancy.
When I think of Alicia, I think of life. And she was such a huge part of what turned my life around. Her eagerness to change the world, to advocate for each individual patient, it renewed something in me. Alicia, unfortunately, lost her battle with heart disease at the age of 36. Although she fought hard and really wanted to give so much more, what she gave was so much, at least for this community.
Sandy's an educator, and she is a go-getter, and she believes in everybody living their healthiest life, whatever that is.
She wanted to get the community educated in heart health because there was such a great need for it. And it just morphed into what she's doing now. And the community has certainly benefited from it and continued to do so, because if it hadn't been for her, this hospital would not be doing cardiac rehab.
An individual absolutely has the most power over their own health. And it's unfortunate that people don't recognize that power.
She wanted the community to be well when it comes to heart health especially. And that's just Sandy. She cares. She cares about people.
She's confident, compassionate, and she's committed.
Now, Sandy works closely with Heather, who is our perinatal director, and Women's Heart, our GAP QC initiatives, the cardiology are all unified.
As we're starting this new program where the patients will come in who have been identified as having heart issues, we're hoping that the government will recognize that this is an important issue and it is saving lives. And so then it would become available to people throughout the country.
The public, I could tell, was excited for what she was offering. And she just continued with that, and it has gotten to be a very big thing, because you can see she's now on the Wellness Committee at the Board of Education.
We're just so proud of her and who she's become, and the woman that she's become, and the mother and the friend and the co-worker and the nurse.
What I am is what this community has made me. It is not me. It's something that God put together. I've been blessed. I have been blessed. And I hope that I can give back to this community even a fourth of the things that it has given to me.